Why do women care about your confidence? Why is it such a turn on for a woman if you're confident and a turn off if you're not? And as you've gone through your life, you've most likely heard that women are attracted to confident men, right? Most guys know that. But what a lot of guys don't ever figure out is, what is it that the confident men are doing that is so special to the woman? Why do women place so much importance on confidence? And why does it result in a woman respecting a man so much more, feeling so much more attracted to him, and loving him so much more? What's going on? Well, after I explain these 4 things to you, you will understand the value of your confidence to women. You will understand why it's so important to them and why it makes them feel so much more attracted to you. So let's begin with number 1. One of the things that a confident man will do that women love is that he allows her to be more of her real self around him. When a woman is confident and a guy is insecure and self-doubting, it puts pressure on her to go a bit easy on him, and she can't really express who she is and behave the way that she wants to behave because it's going to make him feel really awkward. It's going to make him feel uncomfortable. So she has to put on a bit of an act. She has to change her personality and not be herself around the insecure guy. But when she's around a guy who is confident and she can see that no matter what she says or does, he remains confident, then she can just let loose and be more of her real self around him. And as a result, she likes being around him more. It's so much more enjoyable that she can just be real. She can say what she wants to say. She can even playfully tease him if she wants to. And he's not going to crumble under the pressure. He's not going to suddenly feel nervous and awkward because he's a confident man. And that feels better. It feels better as a person when you can be yourself. And I can tell you as a confident man, when I'm around people who are insecure or shy, if it's a situation where I have to take care of the relationship in a social situation where I know people, the burden is on me now to make sure that the person doesn't feel too uncomfortable. And that limits what I can say. I'm still being myself, but I have to tone it down, essentially, because that kind of person is going to feel uncomfortable and awkward, and I'm going to be making them feel that way. And I don't want to be making them feel uncomfortable if I don't need to, right? I'm not trying to go around and make shy or insecure people feel awkward and unsure of themselves and feel horrible in a social situation. So the burden is on me. The pressure is on me now to take care of their emotions. Whereas if I'm around one of my friends who is truly confident, then I can just let loose. I can say all sorts of harsh things to my friends in a playful way or in a seemingly serious way, and my friends won't crumble under the pressure. They won't get butthurt about it. They won't suddenly feel like, oh, why are you saying that sort of thing? Or, oh, geez, why is he saying that about me? They'll be able to laugh it off or not care or not give an F, basically, because they are confident and they are able to handle themselves, and there's no pressure on me to take care of their emotions, right? So when it comes to women and attraction, something that's very important for a woman is to be able to look up to and respect a man because he is emotionally stronger than her. So when a woman is around a man who is emotionally weaker than her and he's insecure, she naturally is looking down on him as someone who is weaker than her, and that's not attractive. But when a woman is around a man who is emotionally stronger than her, where he is more confident than her, and I'm not talking about confidence in a showy way where he's trying to show off and be macho, but he's just emotionally strong. He's fine. No matter what she says, no matter what she does, he's going to be fine. And he's not going to get all weird and jittery and fidgety and start darting his eyes around if she's behaving in a certain way. He's going to remain confident no matter what. When a woman is around a man like that, it's so enjoyable for her because she gets to not only be more of her real self around him, but she gets to be more feminine, in that she gets to be a little bit more girly in her behavior and be a little bit silly in her behavior and giddy. And essentially, one way to put it is sort of like the old cartoon. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I saw it when I was growing up, where there was a bigger dog and then there was a little dog jumping around it saying, "Where are we going now? What are we doing now?" And you know, not that you want a woman jumping around you like that, because that would be annoying, right, if a woman's behaving like that, but she gets to be that giddy, feminine woman at times because she can see that even when she's doing that, you're not getting all weirded out by it. You're not starting to feel like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, if she's behaving like that, am I supposed to behave like her now and be all giddy and excited? You remain confident and centered and you're fine, and she gets to be that feminine woman around you. So that's another part to it. But ultimately about this first one here, the first thing that confident men do that women love is that she gets to be more of her real self around you because she doesn't feel like she has to take care of your emotions in the moment. She's got to be a bit more gentle with you. She can say and do whatever and you're still going to be confident, and that just lets her free from the pressure and the burden of, oh, well, gee, I better not say that, or I better not react in that way because he might get really uncomfortable and this is going to get awkward. Another thing that a confident man will do that women love is that he doesn't second guess himself. Women are attracted to men who trust in themselves and their decisions. And that doesn't mean that a man has to make the correct decision about everything at every time because the woman's looking at him now. I'm checking to see if you trust in your decisions and you make the right decision about everything. It's not about that. Instead, a woman wants to be around a man who trusts in himself, trusts in his ability to make a decision, to do what he wants to do, speak with certainty when he's saying something, move how he wants to move, express himself how he wants to express himself, make a decision about something that he wants to do. And he doesn't give the woman the sense that she needs to be constantly sort of helping him along and encouraging him about his decisions, or taking on the role of the one who's going to make all the decisions for him because he's not really confident in what he's thinking. He doesn't really trust in himself and his decisions. You know, I'm not really sure if I can take the risk of making a decision. What if I make a decision and turns out to be wrong? Then she's going to think I'm a loser, right? Then she's going to think I'm a man that, you know, she can't follow, she can't trust in. No, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make the most perfect decision every time. And you don't have to make all the decisions. All right, when you're with a woman and something comes up or a decision needs to be made and the woman says, oh, I think we should do this, you as a man don't need to say, oh, hang on, I'm the man, I've got to make the decision. I've got to say, no, we should do this because I've got to lead the way. No, as the man, if she says, I think we should do this, you can give approval for that, right? She says, I think we should do this. Yeah, cool, I agree. Let's do that. And you're still giving approval. You're still being the leader, right? She can do some work. She can make decisions too. It's not all on you to make all the decisions. And you've got to be this man that makes perfect decisions every time. And you cannot mess anything up. And she's watching you. You know, she's trusting and following you. So you better make every decision right for her. Otherwise, you're a failure, right? That's not how women think. Instead, they just want a man who trusts in himself and his decisions and he's going to try his best. And if he makes a mistake, he's going to do better next time. And it's someone that she can look up to and respect and follow, right? Women really want to be your cheerleader. They really want to follow you. They really want to be your sidekick. Not that they go around admitting that, but that's what women really want. They want that man that they can look up to, they can hold the arm of, they can respect, they can follow along with. And as a result, the woman gets to be feminine. She gets to be the woman who's going along with her man. And that doesn't mean, as I said, she doesn't do anything. You just got to decide on everything and lead the way and, you know, be exhausted all the time of like, okay, now we're doing this and okay, and I've planned this out and we're going to be doing this, this and this and this, because as you would know, if you've had girlfriends before, if you make a plan and you say, this is what we're going to do, a lot of women will say, no, I don't want to do that. Right? So it's not a case of you just make decisions and women just go along with everything because they don't think for themselves and they're just, okay, yes, whatever you want to do. Women don't operate like that. Sometimes she's going to say no. So it's not about you making decisions about everything and planning out everything. You can ask her, right? What do you think about this? Any ideas on what we can do? Put it over to her. And if she says she doesn't know and you have an idea, great. You make a decision. But at the end of the day, what women really love about confident men in terms of not second guessing yourself is that if they're with a guy who is continually second guessing himself, then that's going to make the woman feel turned off sexually and romantically. And it's also going to cause her to feel like she needs to take on the lead. So when she's around a man who is second guessing himself in terms of moving in to touch her or pulling her in for a kiss or asking for her phone number or making a decision about something to do whatever he wants to do, and she just notices that he's second guessing himself, he's stalling, it causes her to lose faith, lose trust in him to be a man, right? So she then doesn't feel like she can be a feminine woman around him. She's going to have to essentially man up for the both of them. And in almost all cases, a woman doesn't want to do that. Just like you don't want to have to become a girl or a woman around a woman. You don't want to do that. You want to be the man, and she wants to be the woman. So there are certain roles that men and women have. And one of the things that women find very attractive about confident men and that they love about confident men is that they don't second guess themselves. But if a woman second guesses herself around a man, he doesn't care. It doesn't matter. She can second guess herself all she wants because his attraction isn't based on needing to look up to her and respect her and feel like she is just a really strong woman that I can hide behind. It's a different thing altogether. Number 3, he moves through life like he belongs. So when a woman is around a guy who is insecure, and insecurity is the opposite of confidence, when a woman is around a guy who is insecure, she will notice that he will walk into a room or into a situation with body language that suggests he is self-doubting and uncertain, and he won't feel comfortable taking up space or, for example, walking over if there are vacant tables and chairs to sit down on, but no one else is sitting down. He won't feel comfortable to walk over there and sit down. Whereas a confident man will walk in, and if he feels like it, and there are tables and chairs there that people are going to be sitting down on, for example, and he wants to sit down, he'll just walk over and sit down. And what'll happen then? In many cases, people will start copying him, right? He walks into a situation and just feels like he belongs. And it's not about being an arrogant guy or anything like that, but the reality is that a lot of people are actually insecure and they will just follow along with what other people are doing. But you'll notice that confident men, when they walk into a situation or walk into a room, they'll walk in and they'll do what they want. They'll walk in and, for example, I was recently at a function where there was some food out and it just been put out and it was there for about, maybe 2 minutes and no one was eating anything yet. Everyone was acting like they were so cool that they weren't going to start eating yet. But I saw something I liked over there and I just walked over and I'm like, oh, okay, grab one of these. And instantly, other people then came to the table and started picking some things. Instantly, right? So the thing is, it's not about being arrogant and going, oh, well, look, I'm just going to go and have some food now because I don't care what anyone thinks. Instead, when you're a confident guy, you're not worried about what people are going to think, right? The food is there for people to eat. It's been put out there for everyone else to eat. And there's no reason why anyone should be waiting. It's not, hey, we put the food out and just wait first. There's none of that. It's out and this is for everyone to eat. But everyone's sort of like looking over and feeling uncomfortable about being the first person who's going to walk over and eat something. Whereas I don't care. I'll walk over and have something if I want to have something. That's what it's there for, right? It's there for the people to go over and eat, right? I'm not worried about that sort of thing. So if a woman is in a situation like that and she wants a confident man and she says to her man, let's go over and get something. And he then says to her like, no, just wait for everyone else to start eating. It's something that she's not going to break up with him about unless they have so many problems in their relationship already, but she's not going to break up with him because of that, but she's not going to feel attracted to him because of it either. Right? She's going to see that he's afraid to do what he wants to do. He's behaving as though he doesn't belong yet, right? He's got to wait for everyone else to do that first, and then it's like, all right, well, I suppose I'll go over there as well and get something. He doesn't have that feeling of belonging that he gives to himself. He waits for other people. And maybe, for example, in a fantasy type of thought, he's hoping that someone else says, hey, there's some nice stuff on the table. Yeah, let's go get something to eat. And then he feels like, yeah, I feel welcome now. I feel like I belong. That person said that they want to go and eat something. And for example, if a guy is out at a bar with a friend and he wants to meet some girls, women are looking for those sorts of things, right? They're looking at that. Men don't care about it, right? The woman can feel like she doesn't belong and she can be nervous. He doesn't care, right? If she looks hot, she looks good. Yeah, good, great. But women are looking at these sort of things because their attraction works differently. And if a guy is at a bar, a club, or a party, and he's looking around, holding onto his drink, and you can tell that he doesn't feel like he belongs, women can see that. And they instantly don't feel attracted to him. Yet if the woman could see that the man feels like he belongs, right? And he's looking around the room if he wants to, he's talking to his friend, and he doesn't have that sort of, the checking sort of body language, like, am I fitting in here? Like, what are people thinking of me sort of body language? And he just feels like he belongs. He accepts himself. He approves of himself. Then women find that attractive about him. And if he interacts with the women, and he then doesn't feel like he belongs in the conversation, then they're going to feel turned off by that. But if he feels like he belongs and that it's fine, then it goes back to number one as well. The woman feels like the pressure is off her now, where she doesn't have to try to make him feel like he's okay and that he belongs in this situation and it's okay to be talking to the girls, hopefully make him feel okay. She doesn't want to have to be able to do that. She wants to be able to interact with a guy who feels like he belongs, right? That he is welcome, that he is fine, that everything's okay. It's these sort of subtle things that make all the difference, but there aren't just a few of them. There are so many different subtle things that guys have got to be aware of and know how to do. And that's why, for example, the members of my community are getting results like you're seeing on the screen here now. If you don't know, I run the Master Attraction community, and that's where guys are learning my techniques. They're learning exactly what to say and do when interacting with women to make them feel sexually and romantically attracted. And as a result, they're able to go out the first time that they try it, and this guy had sex with one woman that he met, and the other woman became his girlfriend. This guy started kissing a woman within a couple of minutes of meeting her. This guy was using dating apps and not getting attractive women. He went out and he was amazed at the quality of woman he was able to attract and have sex with the first time he tried it, by the way. Other members are sleeping with new women multiple days in a row. That happens quite often. And other members are getting girlfriends, they're having sex with women, and so on, right? It's this sort of subtle stuff that, when you get right, makes all the difference. So here's number 4. He touches her without feelings of awkwardness. So the thing is, you may have heard before that when you're interacting with a woman, you should try to initiate touch, maybe touch her arm or touch her around her lower back or something like that, or touch her on the side of her arm here near the shoulder area like that. Initiate touch, right? But you shouldn't just initiate touch for the sake of it. You've got to do it in the right way. Right? When a woman is touched by a man who's insecure, that feels horrible for her. It feels gross is really the word to describe it, or repulsive. And that's quite a harsh word to use, but it really is that much of a turn off for a woman when a man sort of, insecurely touches her, right? Or touches her on the arm and feels a bit awkward about it. She's like, oh no. Because emotional weakness is not sexually attractive to women, whereas if a man was confident when interacting with her and she could sense that he wasn't insecure and that he was fine regardless of how she was behaving, and he was continuing to be confident, and then he touched her on the arm, or he put his hand around her lower back and then brought her in a little bit as he spoke to her in her ear, then she's going to feel sexually turned on by that, because it's the touch of a confident man, right? She is attracted to emotional strength, and confidence is an emotional strength. When you are displaying any of the traits that come from emotional strength, women feel sexually attracted to you. Additionally, when a man touches her from a place of insecurity, where he's sort of hesitant in the way that he does it, or prior to doing it, he seemed quite insecure and nervous, and then he's heard, oh, you've got to touch women, so he sort of touches her on the arm, then she senses as well that he's not sure if he should be doing that. He's not sure if he's welcome. He's not sure if he has approval to do that. And that then suggests to her that not only is he potentially going to be like that with her in a relationship where he's seeking her approval for things, which is not going to be attractive because that's coming from a place of emotional weakness, but it's also going to be potentially a case that he seeks approval from other people. And if he's around confident men, he's going to be coming across in a way where he's seeking their approval. And some of the confident men that he comes across are not going to be nice to him. And they might bully him and disrespect him in front of her, and even try to hit on her in front of him and not give a crap about what he thinks because they can sense his weakness, right? Some men are like that. As a result, she doesn't feel like she's going to be safe with him. And it doesn't matter if he has big muscles, right? He's stronger than a lot of guys because of his big muscles, but he has an emotional weakness there that is going to cause him to be picked on in social situations by certain men. And it's also going to cause him to be seeking approval from her. He's essentially going to be looking up to her as the stronger one emotionally, and that's not going to make her feel sexually attracted. So I hope this video has helped you understand more about why women feel so attracted to confident men, why it's so important, and why it makes women feel so much more respect, attraction, and love for you.